Welcome back, everyone. I'm JTXRP, and there is a great new custody solution available to everyone in crypto for the most part. We'll get into who all it applies to here in a bit. But I wanted to have Jake Claver on to talk about it. Jake comes on from time to time and helps us to figure out what to do when things do moon out for us. So we can actually have a plan and not just be like, yeah, now we can't get the money out or something like that happens. So very happy to have him back and to help us understand this new amazing custody solution. Before we get started, though, please make sure to, of course, smash that like button if in the course of the video you decide you like this, and subscribe if you want to hear more from Jake and many other XRPL projects and the cool stuff that I'm learning that I'm trying to share with you. So with that being said, let's get to it here and get dangerous. Jake, thank you so much for joining us, and pardon the Darkwing Duck reference, but I'm extremely happy to have you here and to tell us about this new thing that just you and your service can provide at this moment, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I appreciate you having me on. Love the channel, all the value that you provide the community, and it's a pleasure to be here. So if you don't know me, my name is Jake Claver. I'm the director for Digital Ascension Group. We specialize in digital asset liquidity events. We provide family office services for anybody that has made over 20 million in crypto. We have everything that you might need as far as CPAs, financial advisor, wealth manager, accountants, estate planner, funds and foundations, all the wonderful things that go along with being wealthy and wealth management and estate planning. So within that scope of services, we now can offer custody for our clients at Polysign and Standard Custody and Trust. And so with that, there comes $50 million in insurance on every single vault that's under our account. So everybody, we don't commingle funds. So if you were to send it to, like, let's say you used Coinbase custody solution, they just have one wallet address that they store all that XRP in, and it's commingled, and they have an insurance policy on that wallet, but it's not segregated out. They just owe it back to you, right? So just like your bank has separate accounts for you and your specific assets and what they owe you, we do the same thing at the Digital Family Office with Polysign. And there's a lot of security protocols that go around that. The fees associated with it, just to get those out of the way, there's a $1,000 onboarding fee. And along with that, there's a monthly fee that occurs after that that's 2 basis points. So basis point, people have confusion around that term.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get into that real quick.
Yeah, I'll outline it, right? So when the Fed uses basis points and they hike however many basis points, that's the reference that most people understand. So let's say it's 1%. 1% is 100 basis points. So when I'm charging you 2 basis points, if you had $100,000 in the account, it ends up being $20 a month, which is substantially less than what the normal minimums at Polysign and Standard Custody are. And then there's a few qualifiers for our clients to hold their assets under our account. Those being that obviously they're a client of us, but they need to have the assets held within a company, a holding company, or inside of a trust. And then secondarily, the minimum for us to custody assets is going to be at least $100,000 in assets.
So the idea is to take loans out against it once it's in there.
That, or they also have another option that allows you to execute buy-sell orders. But they don't provide that. They partner with the secondary partner to do that, and it's substantially less than anything you're going to pay on an exchange.
Okay. So you're also liquidating within that with their third-party help that is dramatically less. So how much less are we talking? Can we get into that? I don't know.
Yeah, significantly less. I don't know that I can talk about like exact numbers, but
okay.
Far less than 1% per transaction.
Really? Okay. Interesting. And this is for all of crypto, right? You mentioned this is for like what different assets that can apply for this, that because some people are like, well, is it just XRP or is it everything? So
yeah, so neither or. It's not just XRP, but XRP is one of the 31 assets that they can hold on their platform where we can custody for our clients. Okay. So obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, MATIC, Chainlink, Avalanche, and then there's a large variety of DeFi protocols, including AVA and Compound, that people can custody under our account.
Okay. Oh, that's really cool. So again, we can't necessarily demo this because of security reasons, of which they're very good on there. But I asked for you all just to let you know, like I normally do, to be able to demonstrate these things for you. But Jake, you want to tell your story around that, I guess?
Yeah. So we have a weekly webinar for our clients as we onboard them. And I asked Polysign if they could record it, and I could just share that with new cohorts of people as they were coming on, and they said absolutely not. We will provide a webinar on a weekly basis to be able to show people this. It's not something that we want out for the public.
Yep. That makes total sense. So let's talk about that. We have custody solutions now with, well, people will be asking, well, how is this different from my, my hardware wallet or something like that? And, because I have fully control of those funds, what more security does this provide them with Polysign for your clients?
Significantly more. So obviously there's the insurance aspect. You're not going to get insurance on a cold wallet. And this is crime insurance. It's not the other type of insurance that BlockFi and some other custody providers tout that they have. This is actual crime insurance. If it were to be hacked, you're insured up to $50 million by Lloyd's of London. And they will insure it even further beyond that if you would like to pay for more insurance on the account, or you had more assets in the account than that. So some of the security protocols that go around this that cause it to be even more secure than just your regular cold wallet would be the multi-person signatories that have to sign on your account in order for you to be able to transfer funds out. For our account, there's going to be a minimum of 3. Yourself, obviously, whoever's in control of the assets. If you have a trustee, they're going to be the signer or a secondary person for your holding company, as well as myself or somebody else. There's one other signer on the account for the family office. So it's going to take all 3 of those signatures. You're still going to have a physical piece of hardware. You're going to have your YubiKey that is specific to you and your biometrics that you'll plug into your computer or your device. You'll type in your password, and then it will pull up a video of you on your computer or your phone via the camera that's connected to that device. Watch you state all the passwords that it tells you to state verbatim on the video. That's sent off for audit, and then pings the other 2 people for them to do the exact same thing that you just did with their YubiKey and their passwords, which all gets sent off for audit. It's a randomized audit that have 10 different parties that will vet all of those people to make sure they are you and they're not deep fakes or anything that people ask about. And then once all of that happens, the keys that have been sharded and are held across multiple jurisdictions will be pulled back together, unencrypted, execute the transaction, and then re-encrypted and sharded again, and then scattered throughout all the physical hardware that they have all over the globe. So this is significantly more secure than just your cold wallet. And Polysign doesn't have control of your keys either. They can't execute transactions on your behalf. So there's no way other than people signing for this account. And you also get beneficiaries. We didn't mention that before, but let's say you pass away or you're incapacitated. You can have other people that become the administrator on your account in the event that you were to pass away or be incapacitated, that get access to your assets to be able to help you. So a lot more features and control and protection than you would normally have with just a regular old cold wallet.
So the YubiKey that you mentioned, it seems like it's a kind of a single point of failure. So tell me more about this thing, protecting it. Is it like protecting your seed phrase? Can it be replaced? Tell me more about this.
Yeah, so it can be replaced, and they can have it to you within 24 hours if necessary. It's tied specifically to your biometric. You would have to go back in and basically reapprove it with your biometric signature. The video that you would do, you would match it to the YubiKey, and then the new YubiKey would be your YubiKey. So if you did lose it, it got broke, whatever it was, it can be replaced. It's not easy to do. It doesn't come with multiple. You do want to protect it, but it's not you're not SOL if you lost it broken.
Yeah, unlike your hardware wallet, if you lose the seed phrase or something like that, and then you're really out of luck.
Well, and
So,
you also have other signatories on this account that can change things or reissue things for you, and that's the other benefit of having multiple signers.
yep. So that is pretty awesome. So how many, I mean, you just got access to this service. It is literally hot off the presses. Um, what, uh, how many people do you have onboarded right now? Like, if you don't mind me asking, like the scale of the operation, so to speak, at the moment.
Yeah, so pretty fresh. I've got myself, and then we've got a cohort of 12 people that are currently being onboarded.
Gotcha.
And those, again, are people that all have companies or trusts that hold their assets.
Gotcha. And so, are you're actively, of course, taking on more clients to go into there at this point? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I'm like, this isn't something that's coming. This is something that's here, and making sure. But obviously those 12 are in the queue, so to speak. So since you have to have three different people to get this a transaction done, and of course there's things that happen in DeFi all the time that I'm wondering how they handle. How quickly can a transaction be done? Because if it involves three different people, I'm sure you're superhuman, Jake, but I know you need sleep at some point. So how does that
Well,
work?
hopefully you're not sending me a message at 1 a.m. in the morning, hoping that I'm going to move your assets right then. If you're looking to trade on the platform, they do have partnerships with some OTC desks and provide a way that they can escrow a portion of your account and be able to facilitate that trade with those desks in a way that makes sense. That would be the only time I could think of that would you know might need to make a move right now, other than being under duress, right? Which is
Yeah.
another thing. I will call you if you're, or you should call me and let me know so that we can orchestrate a time to facilitate the transaction, or shoot me an email, text, whatever it is, however we communicate most effectively, so that we can coordinate and I can make sure that whatever you're doing is under your own intention. It's not some outside party coercing you to do something. And then on the time frame, like you'd asked, somewhere between 5 and 12 minutes is the usual time it takes for all parties to get on, either their phone or their computer, initiate the transaction, read off all the things, put in their YubiKey, all the other things I mentioned before, and then for the third party to verify that everybody is who they say they are and execute that transaction on chain.
Okay. Excellent. And we already talked about the YubiKey, but what if you mentioned again three people, and obviously if you have a trust set up, you've had to select a person, but what if you don't have that second person that you trust? Because I mean, let's be real, that's a lot of money, and this is a business relationship between them and you, but having that third person is might be kind of hard for somebody. So
I mean, you've got to give up something in order to get something else most of the time. Okay, it's not going to be you get all the freedoms and all the other benefits. Just like if you put your money in a bank, there's constraints about how much you can spend on your debit card or withdrawal per day, or all the other things that go along with that, right? But in correlation with that, yeah, your trustee would be the other signer. You're going to designate that person when you set up your trust. And it's not like any one of these parties independently can execute a transaction. All three of them have to coordinate together in order to send funds off the platform. And even by somehow you were coerced and they put you under duress, and and then I sign off on it too, which would be completely unlikely. They can only send it to addresses that have already been whitelisted for your account. So that's going to be a cold wallet that you own, or another exchange account that again you own.
okay.
So it's not like they can just send it to some arbitrary address or their address. There's a lot of redundancies built into this to make sure that it is as secure as possible. And you want to be picky with who that person is, but at the same time, it could be your wife, it could be your child, it could be a good friend, or it could be a financial advisor or somebody else that's on your financial board if you have a family office.
Yeah, I could just see like me and the missus getting in a fight at some point and be like, no, you're not getting that Ferrari, and doesn't want to sign for my for that transaction. You know what I mean? So
Well, probably don't make it your wife.
yeah,
Uh,
I don't know.
I
I'm
would
just saying.
I would put it as somebody else that you feel isn't going to have family politics, and is also going to have your best interests and it's probably maybe a paid position or an advisor or a mentor for you.
Okay, interesting. I got you. I was just like, man, what if that other, I know you're obviously with the company and you're part of this security practice in a sense, but that other person, there's so many variables that I was just wondering about. So
Ideally, they're a fiduciary of some kind. They're a
okay,
financial advisor, wealth manager, or a trustee.
gotcha. No, that makes sense. And so they're also incentivized to be what you need them to be for you. So, and then obviously, again, this is for Moon whenever things go extremely well. And you know, if you want to reach out to Jake, he can be part of you creating your plan. But let's say things have mooned and now these people want to use this service, but they don't have all these things set up. You can help them with those things, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So we provide all those different services through our different partnerships. All the different estate planners or attorneys that might be necessary to facilitate the setup of those entities is something that we've worked on and have specifically catered to with our services.
Gotcha. And so if people are interested in this and they do want to sign up, where do they go to for the service?
Yeah, 100%. So you'll go to digitalfamilyoffice.io, and there is a custody solution tab down there a little bit lower on the page. You'll click into that. You'll fill out your information. It's going to ask you your name, some basic information, who referred you, and obviously if you're seeing it here on JTXRP, that's who you would pick in the drop down to support his channel. And then along with that, it's going to ask you if you do have an entity set up, and then also if you have a certain amount of crypto. Once you get through that, if you do qualify, then it will send you to the payment page, and you can make payment. Once you've made the payment, you'll receive an email, and then we'll begin the process.
So yep, this is how you can get signed up. And then of course you can hit referred by, and there's different people there. I'll be among the list. So that's going to be, I guess, a way that to partner with Jake and to support the channel. So appreciate Jake allowing me to be amongst the very well-known names that are on that list. So super excited there. And that's going to be a way, you know, I work mainly off donations, and this is one way that if you are already planning on going for these services that you can to help me out. So I really appreciate, Jake, you allow me to be a part of that. And if you of course are thinking of me whenever you sign up, then please do so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to use me in the drop down, all power to you. It helps to support the channel. But thank you so much, Jake, for coming on and allowing me to interview you about this groundbreaking and new. I mean, it's new to retail investors that obviously have a lot of money and that have all these trusts set up, but it's new that we didn't have this before. And so I think it's going to be a great asset to us whenever things do go hopefully really well with XRP, whenever that actually decides to happen. Because now we know the case is over, and we are not sitting at some of the things that we predicted. So, but hopefully very, very soon. And, you know, who knows with upcoming regulation. But thank you so much, Jake, for coming on, and I really appreciate you and hope to have you on again to talk about some of the other topics we have in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. Appreciate you, JT. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, it's time to do it. We're at the end of the video. Click both those buttons, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And go check out Jake's YouTube channel will be in the description below as well, as well as all the links that you will need. So I'm JTXRP. This is Jake Claver, and we're out.